Producing over 500 hours per week of talk radio, GCN Live is a world leader in talk radio. Archives for the following program can be found at gcnlive.com.
Welcome on this lovely Saturday in our sunny Burnsville, Minnesota. Thank you for tuning in again to the Naseema Omer Show, produced by Genesis Communication on GCNlive.com. That's the Naseema Omer Show. You can connect with me through my website on GCNlive.com. Find the show, the Naseema Omer Show. I am very super excited today. I'm not going to do a lot of small talk because I have a very important guest for you today. Hello, Dr. Wallach.
Well, good morning, Naseema. Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Oh, I am just so tickled pink that you're here. You're my favorite doctor ever.
Oh, you're too sweet. Thank you so much. You're very kind.
I want to introduce you a little about you to the audience before we just dive into our questions because, you know, this hour just goes by so quickly. And sorry, we won't be taking any live questions today, but you are in for a super treat. Dr. Joel Wallach, his most recent recognition, one of his most recent recognitions was just in August 2015, this year, renowned naturopathic doctor and father of liquid mineral, honored at the 3rd G.O.D. Awards at the United Nations. I say we have a clap here. Oh, my God. How amazing is that? And, you know, Ted and I would have been there, but just some family emergency came up and we couldn't be there. But next time, and I know there'll be many awards coming next time, so we'll be there. Yeah. We'll be there. So, Doc, I want to start a little about you, and rather than me just read all your credentials here, I think we'll just cover those in our talk here.
Okay.
So, I want to start with you being a little boy in Missouri, as you say it, Missouri, farm boy. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're 9 years old, helping mom and pop and everyone with the duties on the farm. And then you had a little twitching issue or something in your eye. And that's how you stumbled upon I mean, it made logical sense. Please correct me if I say something incorrectly. On the importance of your study that led to your mission in life.
Okay, well, you're exactly right. The events that occurred at that time, back when I was a kid, did guide the entire professional life that I've been privileged to share with the world. It actually started when I was 4. When I was 4 years old.
Okay.
And when I was 4 years old, the Second World War was still going on. Yeah, and so I go back that far.
Wow, that's amazing. You're in tip-top shape. Yeah. By the way, you know, watch out for that YouTube video I put together. You will see pictures of Doc on there. So he is in an amazing shape. Go ahead, Doc.
Thank you, dear. And my father was building electric boats in Patchogue, New York, which is like Manhattan Island, working on electric boats, which are submarines. And so he was building submarines for the U.S. Navy. And we stayed in a trailer court, and I'm 4 years old, and I grabbed the ground wires to the entire trailer court and then plugged them and put each half of the wire, one on either side of my head, and the electricity for grounding the entire trailer court went through my head, blew out my back of my neck to a steel fence post behind me, and the hole that blew in the back of my neck was the size of a silver dollar. And I was in the hospital unconscious for 2 weeks.
Oh, my God.
They didn't think I was make it. And started getting what would be called Tourette syndrome today, facial cramps, tics they call them, T-I-C-S. And when I recovered from the electrical shock, I had these facial tics which got progressively worse, and I was starting to oink like pigs because I lived on a farm and hearing these animal noises. And so that goes along with what we would call Tourette syndrome, making weird noises, animal noises.
Okay.
Got progressively worse. By the time I'm 9 years old, I'm disabled with this Tourette syndrome. And all of my friends in church and school are, as they walk by me, they're putting, the cross sign with their fingers, and they knew I was possessed, right? It was really, really strange stuff going on back then.
They couldn't understand.
And my mom took me to the, quote, best eye doctor in St. Louis. Now, why she took me to Mary Jane Skeffington, who is a medical doctor, eye doctor, for this problem, I don't know. But we went there, and she examines me as the first examination I'd ever had by a doctor, other than, of course, the emergency stuff with the electric shock. And she said, well, I can't find anything wrong with him. The only thing I can see is that his eyelashes are too long. And they're hitting his glasses, curling back and tickling his eyeballs, and I think that's why he's having all this strange stuff going on in his face. Now, I'm 9 years old, and I knew that was a stupid theory.
That doesn't make sense.
It didn't make sense to me, and I was only 9. And so the next day in school, when everybody else was going to lunch, I went to the library and asked the librarian, are there any health books here? And she said, well, in that back corner, there's some, physician's desk references for pharmaceuticals. There's medical dictionaries, and there's handbooks like Merck manuals for doctors and nurses' handbooks. So went back, began to look through these things. I'm looking for stuff with eyelashes and eyelids and couldn't find anything. So I just started going through the index of a nurse's handbook, went through the A's, nothing, went through the B's, nothing. As I got through the C's, I ran into the word cramps, and I heard athletes talking about leg cramps and back cramps and neck cramps and shoulder cramps and things and calf cramps. So, well, maybe this is a face cramp. And so I went to the page that it said to go to, and it says calcium deficiency. Well, one of my chores, as you pointed out earlier, before the bus would pick me up and take me to school, was to feed the little bull calves that we're going to sell at auction, because when you have herds of cattle, you need 100 cows and one bull. You don't need 100 bulls, one bull for every cow kind of thing. And so...
Lucky bull.
So we would... sell the others either for breeding bulls or to be made into steers, into beef for restaurants and things. And I was feeding them the special alfalfa pellets were enriched with vitamins and minerals, and one of the minerals was calcium. So that day after school, I ran into the barn and began eating handfuls of these vitamin mineral enriched alfalfa pellets. The next day, in breakfast, before again getting picked up by the bus, I threw the cereal out to the chickens in the yard and filled this bowl up with these alfalfa pellets. Began to put milk on there. My mother freaked out. She said, that's animal food. You can't eat that. And she pulled it away from me. My dad pulled it away from her and said, let him do it. Nothing else is working. And so within 3 days, I was cured.
Wow.
They were getting worse and worse and worse for 5 years. Medical doctor coming up with something stupid like it's your eyelashes tickling your eyeballs. And it's just in 3 days' time, the nutrition in those vitamin and mineral enriched alfalfa pellets, and this is a gospel true story, just cured me in 3 days. And I was kind of struck with that, and I was a little frightened because I figured, I'm a dumb kid here. I'm 9 years old. How on earth did I figure this out when this doctor couldn't figure it out? Because we held doctors up as being, the smartest people and the go-to person when there's any problems. And so here they are. They're way out in the ozone, this Dr. Mary Jane Skeffington, MD, eye doctor. And I'm figuring this out, and I realized that I didn't figure it out myself. I figured I had to have some divine guidance. I had to have some divine appointment because we were a religious family, and so I kind of knew about those things and said, why me? But I took it on and said, okay, if me, then I'm going to do a good job at this. And I did. I began to mix canned dog food with chicken food and these alfalfa pellets. I'm making meatloaf and everything. I'm getting stronger and stronger. And I began to play football. Now, I'm a disabled kid. Now I'm starting to play football. I'm wrestling and doing all these things. Wrestled at the University of Missouri and carried that with me. And I went
And you continued your pellets in the meantime.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, it was all ground up and mixed into this meatloaf kind of thing. And when I graduated high school, I had worked every summer for 5 years at the St. Louis Zoo with Marlon Perkins from the old Mutual Omaha Kingdom show.
I watched those films, little clips of yours. They're amazing.
And he was such a wonderful man. He was my first male mentor who was not a family member, and really appreciated all the guidance he gave me. And I graduated high school, and I went to the University of Missouri. I was the first Wallach to go to college, and I wanted to be a scientific farmer, go back to the farm, be a scientific farmer, just do a better job of farming, more efficient, and so forth, do a better job for the animals. And halfway through ag school at the University of Missouri, one of my roommates, because I wrestled for the University of Missouri, and the people who were doing sports for the university kind of had dormitories for the athletes, and so I was standing there, and he said he's applying for veterinary school. Did I want to just go with him and apply also? And I said, well, no, that wasn't my goal. I didn't even think about that. I just want to be back and be a scientific farmer. He said, oh, come on. So I went with him and applied and took all the tests and so forth, and by golly, I got accepted.
Yay!
And so, very proud of that. And they said, you don't even have to finish your agricultural stuff if you don't want to. And I said, no, I came here to do that. I'm going to finish it. And so my soils professor, Dr. William Albrecht, a PhD in soil chemistry and so forth, he was sort of the guy who stood with his hands on his hips and was waving the fingers at the people who were doing the Green Revolution. Because after the Second World War, the world was starving. The world was starving. The soil was dead. We had the Dust Bowl.
Huge recession.
Yeah, the Great Depression. It was just awful. And then came the Second World War, and it just got worse and worse. And so they needed food. And they came up with artificial fertilizers at the time, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, 3 nutrients which would drive plant growth. And that was really all that was needed to make good seeds for the next generation of plants. Well, all vertebrates, whether you're a hummingbird or a crocodile or a human being or an elephant or a rat or a turtle or a fish, require 90 essential nutrients, including 60 minerals. And so I figured, well, if this is 3 nutrients driving plant growth, we're going to get the other 57 minerals. Okay, where are we going to get all 90 essential nutrients if we're not putting it in for the plants? Well, this professor, my soils professor, Dr. William Albrecht, that was his mantra. That's what he was singing. Okay, there's something wrong with this picture. If the soil's not healthy, the people can't be healthy. If the soil's not healthy, the animals can't be healthy.
And how did you get to know him? Was he like a mentor?
He was my soil professor.
Oh, there you go.
And so while all the other ag students are out drinking beer on the weekends, I was working for him in his experimental fields called Sanborn Field, and helping him. I was weeding these and giving this fertilizer to this row of corn and this fertilizer to this row of soybeans and things for his studies. And I was sort of his student assistant, and learning more and more about this. And I was realizing that there was a problem here. There was a major disconnect from what people thought was happening with their food and what was really happening. Well, he knew what the problem was, but he didn't know why. Dr. Albrecht knew the problem was our soils were depleted of nutrition, but he didn't even know exactly why. And if you'd ask him, and you ask everybody else, they would say, even environmentalists and government people, they'd say, well, bad farming practices have depleted the soil. I knew that wasn't true.
And again, just perspective of time, World War II past time, so we're talking
1960s.
Okay.
And so we were past the Korean War.
Yeah.
And we're into the Vietnam War at that time.
Got it. I hear that music. Isn't that beautiful? Do you like that music? We should dance, Doc. We'll be right back to continue with Dr. Joel Wallach, naturopath, veterinarian, ag specialist, and so much more.
A lot of people's lives and bodies are out of balance. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops optimize pH level and get rid of harmful waste and acid. Just a few drops in water restores vibrance and energy and gets you back in balance. Now order 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Sign up for monthly auto shipping and save 25%. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
Earthquake, floods, winter storms, prolonged power outages, or war. Each of us have had that moment when we recognize that we need to be better prepared. We typically do the same thing. We start with food storage, then we address the need for water. But have you considered heat storage? I'm talking about staying warm in the cold. Here are some things for you to consider. How will I keep my family warm? The standard answers are firewood, coal, or propane. But the problem with that, if you need to be on the move, is you can't take it with you. Another concern, there may come a time when you need to stay warm without smoke, like in times of war. There may even come a time when you can't burn fuel. The answers may be simpler and less costly than you think. For these answers, go to fortressclothing.com. Again, fortressclothing.com has the answers to your heat storage dilemma. Don't get stuck in the cold. fortressclothing.com. You'll never be cold again.
Hey, Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting GoBerkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution Liquid, starting at $12.95 a bottle. Now available in regular and extra strength. That's half the price of the leading competitors. Call 844-U-SILVER for your free catalog, or go to OneSilverSolution.com. OneSilverSolution.com. There is only one Silver Solution.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
To the Naseema Omer Show, produced by Genesis Communication Network. Today I am so honored, so super honored to have Dr. Joel Wallach in Burnsville, Minnesota, right here in our GCN studios, and interviewing him. Thank you, Doc, for being here today.
Well, Naseema, very special. Thank you so very much for the opportunity and sharing your audience. And we can quickly finish this story.
Yes, let's just dive right into it.
Okay, and so just to finish up here, now remember, I'm 2 years into my ag degree, my agricultural studies. My major was in animal husbandry and nutrition. I learned how to make vitamin and mineral rations for animals so that we could prevent diseases and cure diseases. I'm learning all this in great detail: chemistry, organic chemistry, biochemistry, genetics. I mean, all this stuff is happening. Experimental biology is my courses were electives. I had to take electives. So I was taking experimental biology, and we're learning about stem cells and how to regrow cartilage in animals, racehorses, and things like that. Remember, this is 1958.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah, at the time.
Well, now I'm in veterinary school. So the last 2 years of agricultural school, I'm taking my first 2 years of veterinary school. So I had 2 full courses. Most people are screaming about 20 hours. I was taking 100 hours per semester at this point.
You've always been such a hard worker.
Okay, now. Mm-hmm. Now, when I graduated ag school, in 1962, I still had 2 years left in veterinary school, and I liked pathology, so I started taking graduate courses in pathology. Started doing autopsies on human beings and animals as a pathologist.
Did you sleep?
Well, no. Never slept. I actually got up early, and I worked my way through school. Didn't have grants, so I had to feed the beef cattle herd, milk the dairy herd for the university and feed them, feed the poultry, gather eggs, take blood samples of the poultry, and that's how I was earning my living at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Okay, and I'm sure it was their great references from those herdsmen from each of those divisions that helped me get into veterinary school so quickly. And so at any rate, I started taking all these pathology courses. Well, in 1961, and I'd been doing the pathology courses now for about a year. It was December of 1961. All the staff, all the professors went on vacation and left me to do the service pathology. You know, autopsies would come in and blood samples would come in. I'm doing all these things. And so in December of 1961, I got dumped with a case where there was 500 deaths at one time and determined that it was from a mass die-off from pollution. And I figured it out, did all the chemistries, tracked it down into the environment where the pollution had come from, and make a long story short, got it published. It was my first scientific article published, 1961. I'm 21 years old.
Wow.
And the professors, they said, no, this is yours, Wallach, because I said, I'm a kid. Do you guys want to be the authors? And I just, no, this is yours. You did the whole thing. You figured it out. This is yours. So it was my first publication, scientific publication in peer-reviewed, refereed scientific journals. It was really, again, kind of scary. Why is this me? Why me? Am I finding all this stuff? And so I took it very responsibly and began to lecture on this at age 21. And then I graduated from veterinary school in 1964. Not only did I graduate in 1962 with my degree in agriculture, but also as an officer and gentleman because we had ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps at the University of Missouri, because it was a A&M college like Texas A&M and Florida A&M, agriculture and military. That's what the A&M stands for. Most people don't know that. And we were required to take the first 2 years, and then I liked it, so I took the second 2 years of military. And again, when I got my agricultural degree, I also graduated as an officer and gentleman, as a second lieutenant in the Army Artillery at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Okay, very proud of that. And so after graduating veterinary school, went to Iowa State University as a professor teaching nutrition and pathology at the veterinary school there at Iowa State, and also as a pathologist for the Iowa State Diagnostic Laboratory.
Okay.
Kind of getting double work there.
Yeah.
And a year into that, doing more human, more animal autopsies, beginning to write more papers, scientific papers. And a year into that, Perkins says, look, I need you to go to Africa and work on the white rhino conservation project and the African elephant conservation project. I said, I can come back and finish my PhD in pathology, but I can't pass up this opportunity. So I went to Africa, and in 2 years' time, I had caught 200 white rhinos, shipped them back to the United States. So if you see a white rhino, the southern race, they call it, from south of the Zambezi River, you'll see either the ones that I caught or offsprings of the ones that I caught. And I was prepared to stay there forever. I was having a good time. I was saying, I'm not going to go back and get that PhD. I'm having too much fun here.
May I say something?
Yeah.
I have to just interject and say, I love the pictures of you and your family. I can't believe,
with the rhino,
little babies and all with the rhino, and here you are. I love it. Stay tuned, everyone. We have more for you.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Your house is under attack. Every day our homes and families are attacked by harmful gases, mold, and pollutants caused by everyday activities. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 5 to 100 times worse than outdoor air. And the American Lung Association states that poor indoor air can cause infections and chronic lung diseases such as asthma. Protect your family with a complete indoor air quality package from Wave Home Solutions. Wave ventilation units for basements and crawl spaces reduce moisture that nourishes mold, odors, dust mites, and expels gases and pollutants. Add the Wave 6-stage air purifier to get rid of the viruses, chemicals, and pollutants upstairs for a complete indoor air quality solution. A healthy home is the best investment you can make. Visit WaveHomeSolutions.com. That's WaveHomeSolutions.com or call 888-758-WAVE. That's 888-758-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
I want to be able to smoke inside, cut down on cigarettes, jog without wheezing, be kissable, and save money.
Then you want LeSig e-cigarettes. Get the highest quality, best tasting vaping experience on the market with unmatched customer service from LeSig. And right now, gobble up this deal. Buy $30 worth of any products and get a starter kit for only $5. Use code SK at checkout. But hurry, offer good only until Thanksgiving at LeSig.com. LECIG.com. Kick some ash with LeSig.
My name is Don Wiskin. In 1994, I lost my 62-year-old father to complications of bypass surgery. In 1977, my 44-year-old brother was found dead in his apartment. He suffered a heart attack. In January of 98, my mother had a stroke and passed away in her bed. 21 days later, my 53-year-old brother passed away on his arrival to the hospital. He waited too long. In June that same year, I almost joined them at 42. What did I do? I took a 7-herb formula I now call Extendivite, made from garlic, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, hawthorn, milk thistle, and valerian. Based on German studies of natural medicine, Extendivite is designed to clear blocked arteries, clean the toxins from your blood, and improve your immune system. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, LibertyOnCall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to LibertyOnCall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's LibertyOnCall.org.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MyTV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MyTV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV.
Welcome back again to the Naseema Omer Show. You can contact me by finding my show through the show list on GCNlive.com. If you have any questions or need to know more about Dr. Joel Wallach, who I am interviewing today, stay tuned. Find my channel on YouTube, The Naseema Omer Show, and the video file will be there as well. Happy Veterans Day, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you.
Happy week to you. Okay, you were telling us about being in Africa, and I'm just picturing you and family over there because I've seen pictures of you with that and heard the story too. Please continue.
Well, thank you, Naseema. It was a great time in everybody's life. We were there saving a species, and we felt doing God's work and helping village people sort of on the side as sort of a little add-on because we knew about hygiene and things of that nature. Very simple stuff and some vitamin mineral supplements we'd give away and clean wounds and sew up wounds and things. So we were kind of a protected part of the community there. And Perkins sends me another letter. He said, look, Wallach, I just got this grant from the National Institutes of Health, U.S. government, and we're putting together a program at Washington University in St. Louis and the St. Louis Zoo and the Shaw's Botanical Gardens on how pollution in big cities affects chronic degenerative disease. Or does it cause it? Does it make it worse? And since you gave me a copy of your paper on the first mass die-off in America from pollution, you're the pollution guy.
When you were 21.
Yeah, you're the pollution guy. Now I'm 25 years old now.
Okay.
And so he says, you're the guy. And so we want you to come back and be the pathologist on this project, this big project. And you're going to do autopsies of animals that die in the big zoos around the United States and the big cities. They're going to act as the canaries in the mine, kind of like the old coal miners used to take canaries in the mine. And if methane gas or carbon monoxide or explosive gases were to leak into the mine, the canaries were more sensitive than the men. They would drop off the perch and die. The men could get out before they got sick or killed. And we're going to use the animals that die or get sick in the big zoos in the big cities as the canary in the mine concept. And you'll also have opportunities to do autopsies on people who live within a 10-mile radius of the zoos because they're sharing the same air, the same water, the same basic foodstuffs. And since you know about pollution, you're the guy. So I said, well, I can't turn that down. So I gave up being in Africa at that point, and I've been doing autopsies in Africa and doing water tests on where they got their water and soil. And went back and worked on that project called the Center for the Biology of Natural Systems. Well, again, to make a long story short, over a 10-year period, I had done some 20,000 autopsies, 17,000 and some change of over 454 species of zoo animals are being frozen and sent into me from all these different zoos and people's bodies the same way. And this is Barnes Hospital there at the St. Louis, Washington University Medical School. And the bottom line of the study was 20 million chemistries, 20 million slides of special stains looking for pollution. But my interest had always been in nutrition since nutrition had gotten rid of my Tourette syndrome. And so I was also looking at the nutritional levels of blood and tissues and cerebrospinal fluid and the vitreous humor in the eye and so forth. And so I'm running parallel two things, the stuff that they were interested in, which was the pollution aspect, and my stuff, which was the nutrition aspect. Well, it turns out after these 17,000 of change of over 454 species of zoo animals and 3,000 humans, there was not a single animal or human being that died from pollution or got sick from pollution. It was all nutritional deficiencies. No genetics, no pollution, all nutritional deficiencies, even all the birth defects. I'm running into type 2 diabetes in crocodiles. Now, how does a crocodile get a human genetic disease? I'm running into sickle cell anemia in hummingbirds and deer and antelope. How do animals get a genetic disease in humans that are thought to be genetic in the black community? Well, I realized that these nutritional deficiencies were universals for all vertebrates, whether you're a hummingbird or a crocodile or a human being or a snake or a flamingo or a fish or a turtle. If you have a certain nutritional deficiency, it'll cause the same disease in all those different species. And nobody had thought about that. They're all thinking these are all genetic diseases, right? And so I was able to put that together in a book called The Diseases of Exotic Animal. It was 1,200 pages and listed all these autopsies and all the chemistries and all the conclusions and so forth.
Here's the drum roll.
Yes.
Here's the drum roll.
And all the pictures, both microscopic and gross pictures of all these things. Things that nobody had ever seen before. Nobody had contemplated these things. And I was blessed to be in a position where I'm doing autopsies on over 454 species of animals, right? And so the conclusion was that every animal and every human being who dies of what we would call chronic degenerative diseases, natural causes, diseases of death from natural causes, were caused by nutritional deficiencies. Now, that was a revelation. That just sort of broke all the molds of everybody's thinking. And I'm, at this point, 30 years old.
I was just going to ask you.
And so this got published, by W.B. Saunders, which is the biggest medical publishing house of textbooks and reference books for the medical system, veterinary school, nursing school, and so on. And it got into the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. 1983.
Huge drum roll and clap. Wow.
I'm so proud of that. Today is considered, it would cost $1 billion to redo that study. We did it for $25 million then, which was a lot of money back in those days for a 24-year-old kid to have, right?
A lot of money, yeah.
National Institute of Health, National Science Foundation. I was on all the reference committees and site visits for grants and stuff. I mean, I was in the eye of the storm, so to speak.
You were right there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, after the end of that study, I got moved around different universities, different big zoos, and so I could work with whales and dolphins and all kinds of sea animals and things, and found the same thing was true because they're all dying and washing up on shore and they're thinking it's pollution. No, it was all nutritional deficiencies. And I'm beginning to think there's something really wrong here. Why are all these animals and people getting all these nutritional deficiencies? You don't think of those. There are genetics and autoimmune and all that stuff. And then my last stop in this whole adventure was at the Yerkes Primate Center in Atlanta, Georgia, associated with Emory University, Grady Memorial Hospital, and medical school there. And I was a pathologist, again, on this project for primates that were being raised for studies with NASA space trips, and they're training them to do all these things in spaceships.
Did you ever go out there with a monkey in a spacesuit?
I did not.
Okay.
No. I only saw the monkeys if they were very sick or if they were dead. They would come from the colony. Some experiments, they would just kill 10 of them to see what was going on, but biochemically and everything.
Yeah.
And so I had to do all these autopsies. Well, again, it was one of those Christmases. My first 6 months there at the Yerkes Primate Center in Atlanta, Georgia, all the other pathologists who'd been there 5, 10, 15 years, I had done many more autopsies than them, but I was a new guy on the block, so I stayed to do all the service pathology where they left. Well, sure enough, I run into the first non-human primate that died of what we call cystic fibrosis. It's supposed to be a classic genetic disease in human beings of children. It's, I think, the third biggest cause of death from a genetic disease in newborn babies called cystic fibrosis. And so I did my thing. Remember, I've done all these 20,000 autopsies, 10 million chemistries, so I go through the same process. And sure enough, I found out, this is not genetic as they think. This is a simple nutritional deficiency during pregnancy. And because it doesn't affect the structure like a heart defect or a cleft palate or spina bifida or cerebral palsy, it was a biochemical change. And I could get rid of the genetic marker in 2 weeks with just a simple supplement. If I gave it IV, if I gave the nutrient IV, I could get rid of it in 3 days, the genetic marker. But if I gave it to them orally, it took a week or two to get rid of the genetic marker. And the disease would be gone in a couple of months, and they were free of cystic fibrosis. Because the whole colony, 24 other babies who were the same age peer group as this one that had died, all different mothers and fathers. There was 25 couples, 25 pairs, 25 mothers and fathers, not related genetically. I got permission to do biopsies on the pancreases and the livers and the lungs of all these monkeys, and guess what? They all had cystic fibrosis. So I knew immediately it wasn't genetic, because here's 25 baby monkeys, not genetically related in any way, shape, or form, all different moms and dads, not genetically related, and they all had the same disease. So it had to be environment as opposed to genetics.
Makes sense.
Well, fortunately, in this colony, they had taken blood samples of all the adult monkeys every month for 3 years and frozen. Saved it, dates and monkey numbers and everything. And when the babies were born 6 months earlier, they began to take their blood samples every month and freeze it and save it. It couldn't have been more perfect. So I went back and tracked it all.
Had the data.
Had all the data right there. And it wasn't like I selected it. It was just taken. And so I did the analyses, and sure enough, come 3 months before this one monkey died, guess what? There was a bingo. One nutrient was missing. And that was because they had been doing a dietary change, which is a long story, and they left out one piece.
What was it?
Well, I can't tell you yet. I got to let you hang a little bit longer here. Right?
Okay.
And so I gave them that one nutrient and cured them all. Their cystic fibrosis like in 2 weeks. So I write this all up. I mean, this is Nobel Prize stuff.
Yes.
I mean, I was excited.
Yes.
This is Nobel Prize stuff.
Yep.
So I took this finished article to the committees that look at these things to allow publications with the university's name and the NASA and all this stuff. I mean, this is a big deal, right? Finding the cause, prevention, and cure of cystic fibrosis. And they looked at this, and they said, okay, at first, they just read the first part. I had experts from around the world on cystic fibrosis pathology on their letterhead say that this was cystic fibrosis. And then I told them it was not a human, it was a monkey. They got excited. They said, oh, now we have a laboratory animal, we can study this. I said, it even gets better than that. I know how to prevent it and cure it. And they fired me. They fired me and said, Wallach, you must be sniffing glue. Everybody knows it's genetic. I said, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you treat me like I'm a PhD student, and you're going to challenge my thesis. Let me get all my data together. You get together the geneticists. You get together your pediatricians who are experts on cystic fibrosis. Anybody who wants to create this committee, let them challenge me. If I have the data to satisfy their inquiries or their challenges, we can get some grants here. We can save some kids. I mean, this is very exciting to be able to save kids from this horrible disease.
Absolutely.
Which had no answer. I mean, I'm a kid still. I'm 30-something years old, right? This is wonderful. And they said, well, we'd be embarrassed to tears to call a committee together for this because everybody knows it's genetic. And so they fired me. Well, that's when I went back to school and became a naturopathic physician so I could be licensed to take care of humans. And the reason why I took that route was because I didn't have a job. And I had actually gotten a job at St. Louis University as the head of their medical laboratory animal colony where they do research at St. Louis University, St. Louis. And I'm unpacking my books. I just was there for a day, and of course the university was kind of proud of it because my book's in the Smithsonian Institute, and they sent out this announcement they'd hired me to be the director of their animal colony and everything. And the head of the medical school comes out and says, put your books back in the boxes, Dr. Wallach, you're out of here, you're fired. I've only been here 12 hours, what do you mean I'm fired? He says, well, we got notice from the National Institutes of Health and Emory University, and they're going to defund all of our federal grants if we hire you.
Oh, my.
You're persona non grata. You are never going to work in pathology again for the government or any university.
Not good.
Not good. So that's when I went back to school. It's a long story, but went to the Naturopathic College in Portland, Oregon to get a degree in naturopathic medicine so I could be licensed to treat humans.
Fascinating and persistence. That's what Dr. Joel Wallach is all about, and where he is today, and why we can take better care of ourselves by his hard work and study. Stay tuned. We have one more segment left, and you can get more information by reaching out to me or go to Naseema.longevity.
My name's Clyde, age 59, and I reside in Florence, South Carolina. The doctors diagnosed me as having clogged arteries. It felt like I was carrying heavy concrete blocks around my feet and legs. I started taking Heart and Body Extract as directed. It is less than 3 weeks, and I'm like a young man again. It's unbelievable that an herbal formula can work so fast and so powerfully.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? Reputation.com can protect your good name. Get a free consultation now at 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from Reputation.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help, so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll-free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Show interview with Dr. Joel Wallach today on this lovely Saturday. To find out more information, reach me at NaseemaOmer.com, and to find out more about Dr. Joel Wallach and the amazing longevity opportunity and products, go to Naseema.longevity.com. I know the spelling is a mouthful, so reach out to me and I'll get that to you. Call me at 877-279-9422, 877-279-9422. We will have a part 2 of this episode as well, and find the video on YouTube channel, The Naseema Omer Show. All yours, Doc.
Okay, in just a few moments, began to treat kids for cystic fibrosis, treating kids for all kinds of diseases. Now, 1989 comes up. I get the opportunity with Dr. Malan to go to China and do 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 in a place called Qishan province. And the mineral that's missing that results in the disease cystic fibrosis in kids is also missing from the soil in Qishan province. And they have a very high percentage of kids dying from what's called cardiomyopathy heart disease, a sudden heart death that kills young athletes here in the United States, in the industrialized world. And so I knew if I could go there and do autopsies on those kids that are dying of that deficiency, there'd be a couple of them for every 100. There'd be maybe 1 or 2 that would die of cystic fibrosis. Well, to make a long story short, I did 1,700 autopsies on these kids under the age of 10 who had died of this Qishan disease, a deficiency of this one mineral, also caused the disease cystic fibrosis. I just blew my mind because out of the 1,700 autopsies, I found 35%. 595 of them had cystic fibrosis.
That's a huge percent.
Well, Naseema, it confirmed unimpeachably, as predictable as gravity, that I was correct. Now, the story gets better because I got a 3 for here. I also found the cause-wrenching cure of muscular dystrophy in that same group of kids. Okay? Took it back and began to treat muscular dystrophy patients from the Amish community, reversing that disease with these nutrients and that one particular mineral that's missing in Keyshawn province. And about 5 years ago, I had enough data. I gave it to Jerry Lewis from the Muscular Dystrophy Foundation. Jerry, these are Jerry's kids. I now have found the cause-wrenching cure of muscular dystrophy. You have more than earned the right to be the one to make the announcement. We have found the cause-wrenching cure of muscular dystrophy. He got excited. He took all my data to the Muscular Dystrophy Foundation, and they fired Jerry Lewis. That's why there hasn't been any telethons for muscular dystrophy the last 5 years. The Muscular Dystrophy Foundation fired Jerry Lewis. And I recommend that their tax-exempt status be taken away, because every baby who's born with muscular dystrophy from now on, every baby who dies of muscular dystrophy, every person who suffers from that disease, it's on their head. Okay, because we knew the cause-wrenching cure, drop-dead, predictable as gravity, unimpeachable evidence of 1989. It's just criminal that they killed it because they didn't want Jerry Lewis to be running around telling people that we had already found the cure. They didn't need to donate any more money.
Money.
Yes, okay. So, and I just have this book out now, which is sort of a compilation of all this data, okay, written for the general public. Not the one in the Smithsonian Institute, which is a very heavy scientific one. This one's written for the general public. It's called Epigenetics, the Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. It tells the whole story, names on cystic fibrosis and also in muscular dystrophy. You have to get this book. Okay, Epigenetics, and the one before it, of course, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. It's the only time they won't is when they're dead. Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And get this information. You'll save your family, and when you save your family, you're going to save America one family at a time. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Naseema, to share your audience.
Oh, thank you so much for being here today with us, Doc. Again, please find me, NaseemaOmer.com. Call me, 877-279-9422. I can get more information to you on Dr. Joel Wallach. And stay tuned. We'll be having an episode number 2 interview with Dr. Joel Wallach. YouTube channel is called The Naseema Omer Show. What I put together are pictures of Dr. Wallach, pictures of his books, of his information, history, things like that. And it's very enjoyable to watch that and listen to him at the same time. Thank you again for tuning in. Please share this important message with everybody you know. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Scott Fuchs, teacher and rowing coach for over 14 years. I was sluggish, overweight, on prescription drugs, and only 30-something. Fortunately, I was referred to Dr. Z, and happy to say Dr. Z's all-natural protocols over a consistent course resolved my health issues. I'm in the best shape of my life, and most importantly, on 0 medications.
I'm Dr. Stanowski, author of Evology, trained as a primary care physician, surgical manipulation under anesthesia, expert in nutrition, diet, weight loss, immune system, and I specialize in chiropractic. My 15 years of professional experience has taught me the 4 keys to vibrant health: a balanced musculoskeletal system, an integrated nervous system, a flowing lymphatic system, and a body filled with over 90 essential nutrients. This has been a secret too long. Actualize your potential, reverse disease. Call me, Dr. Z. 201-945-1177, 201-945-1177, evolveyourself.com.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined. from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at $downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.